own family. Forgive the disheveled look, but let's just say I just had the worst roughly week of my entire life. Which involves me almost dying, or at least being incapacitated to the point of absolutely zero mobility. Suffering extreme overwork, extreme fatigue, extreme hunger, because I was back and forth between accepting the situation and fasting, and being frustrated with the situation and trying to properly feed myself so that I had more energy than I had. But it didn't seem like the times that I fed myself did enough. I'm not gonna bother going into the minutia of it all, but let's just say that the end of the weekend involved me completing an excruciatingly painful and slow task because I had to, because I was the only one left in the space. No one was there to help me, and even though I got the things I needed to help myself, at least speed myself up a bit, I didn't get to complete the subtasks in regards to that to be in a good condition to get all the other stuff done. This is I did a convention down in New Orleans / Kenner, Louisiana. One that I do every now and then because I'm pretty cool friends with the owner, and he'll ask me if I want to do this show every now and then. Well, he'll ask me if I want to do almost all the shows that he does because he's a traveling showrunner. And I pick and choose as I see fit. Unfortunately, this story has a precursor because I had a show last weekend that I missed due to, I don't want to say a false alarm, but an alarm ringing louder than it should have in regards to my vehicle. And what that basically boils down to was some repairs that will be getting done at some point in time. They're just not going to happen very quickly, mostly because they're not as much of a immediate priority as I thought they were. And because I listened to my friend, no offense to my friend, I listened to my friend and skipped that show to see about getting that repair done, because they were going to help me out with it, but then life hit them in the balls, and at the last minute they weren't able to pull through to help me cover the cost, so I had to scrap the whole project and just go about my way anyway, which led to me driving from basically Chicago straight to Kenner, which otherwise would have been a bit more roundabout, going from Chicago to Atlanta, then to Kenner, and hopefully making a few bucks in Atlanta to cover the cost of getting from Atlanta to Kenner, which would have covered the cost, or helped cover the cost, as well as probably paid some bills, to get back into the Midwest. But since the Atlanta show didn't happen for me, that threw a wrench in that entire plan. But I didn't want to give up on getting a show done because I got bills to pay. So I decided to do this show anyway. Worst decision ever. Like I said before, I almost died. And I find myself in a situation now on the back end of that excruciating experience, excruciating on so many multiple levels, that I have officially decided to reassess my entire situation. Because I realize that I'm not necessarily robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's more along the lines of paying Tuesday for a hamburger today, but that Tuesday never coming, because every time Monday comes, some new function in physics in the universe in and of itself finds a way to repeat Monday 3 days in a row. And that Tuesday just never comes. Every time I plan for that Tuesday, I think I'm good. But the Tuesday never comes. And I use the euphemism of, or the anecdotal concept of a new fundamental change in the physics of the universe, because the things that happen to me are just that deep. Okay, I'll give a little bit of admission. A little bit. There were 2 points in last night's fiasco where the local cops were driving around on their patrol. The first time I didn't think of it because I was so exacerbated in general. I was just so far hyper-focused and mentally gone from any excess concept other than I need to get this done, I need to get this done, that I didn't think of this. But the second time they came around, I actually asked for help, and my situation turned from a technically 8-hour fiasco into a half an hour process. That fiasco that I'm talking about is being so physically incapacitated and alone after dark in Kenner, Louisiana. Luckily, I was on the outskirts near the ocean or what have you. process that I was partaking in was shifting my weight in the lawn chair that I was using to sit in, slowly forward, like literally inchworming my way from where I had sat down, thinking I was close enough, because there's no way this is going to end up taking forever after we get the fast stuff done. Because basically a bunch of people helped me out with closing down for the weekend, so it was a pretty quick process to get my stuff packed up, pretty quick process to get it out to the vehicle, pretty quick process to get it into the vehicle. But getting me into the vehicle, that took like 7 hours. I am not joking. I am not joking. Once I got the help that I needed from a patrol team, they got me up out of the chair, monitored my movements in order to get myself to the front of the vehicle and get myself in the vehicle with a little bit of help from them. I basically just said, you know what, screw it, I'll ask for the help. I don't need the help, but I'll ask for it to make it easier on myself. The less that I unnecessarily strain myself, the better. But yeah, and then they helped me, they handed me the stuff off of my walker, they handed me my walker, I put everything in here, and got on the road. Well, got gas. They were willing to help me do that. And got on the road and got somewhere that I could rest so that I could be of sound mind today, which I do feel fairly well of sound mind, though I'm dealing with a bit of executive dysfunction paralysis right now, because there's like 5 different things that I want to do to get my day going. This was one of them, and I just could not seem to pick for almost 20 minutes. But anyway, got past that, so sweet. But yeah, that I can't emphasize enough. If you could picture walking through a park and noticing some random dude in a lawn chair just scooching himself forward towards something, doesn't matter what, and you are on foot, you walk far enough where you're basically in another town picking up your vehicle to then come back this way and do something with the vehicle, maybe pick up everybody else so you guys can go home, whatever. But when you get back, you look at your watch and you realize that 7 hours, 8 hours have passed. And this person, as dedicated as they have been to this project, has probably moved a total of 3 feet. That's where I was last night. Fortunately, didn't know anybody in the area, don't have any friends in this area. Posted on Facebook to try to find anybody that might have been in town. My one female trucker friend happened to be back in Wisconsin. How ironic was that? I found that out this morning when I woke up to the message. reached out, didn't get any responses until I was already technically safe and sound in a space where I could rest. And now we're here. So, chances are, because I've been chewing on this since last night, I'm probably going to go ahead, for the comfort of everybody, well, not even for the comfort of everybody else, fuck everybody else right now. One of the things that I am changing about my situation as a whole is the subtle and over-the-top effort that I never realized I put into people-pleasing and excessively respecting others, regardless of whether they have earned it or deserve it. Because that has helped feed this problem. Because at one point in time earlier in the day, an ambulance was called and they checked my vitals. Told them that I was told by a doctor that I was pre-diabetic. All of my vitals came back crystal clean. Like, perfect bill of health. Perfect. Including my blood sugar, which was something that I was considering as one of the problems that's happening right now. Again, I'm not going to get into the details of that. If you know, you know. But everything came back as normal as could be. So I'm like, well, chances are, if I can just get myself situated somewhere and spend a couple of days basically taking supplements to dump this water weight, because I'm pretty sure that's what it is, dump this water weight out of this very specific area, which has caused me incapacitation, then I should go back to my current form of normal. Not actual normal, my current form of normal. The more I think about it, the more demotivated I get about it, because I'm doing everything alone. I'm quite literally doing everything alone. Don't get me wrong. I have friends, I have family, I have people that care, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, when it comes to me, myself, and I, and what is happening in my general peripheral, I always realize that I only have myself. No matter how dire the situation is. And I've had similar situations. Well, yeah, I have had similar situations happen before. I have actually had an episode that was worse, and I was incapacitated for a few days, but I was in a safe space and was able to survive my way through it, and life went back, quote unquote, to normal. This time I don't really have that luxury, and part of the problem that comes into play with that is having to reassess things like, oh, I now don't have enough money to both cover gas to get back to the Midwest, and cover a show I'm supposed to be doing in 2 weeks. I figured absolute worst case scenario, by the time this show was over, I would probably have earned enough excess in general, well, not excess, but earned enough period to at least cover the cost of getting back where I came from. And what I already had that I'm sitting on, I should be able to put it into the things I have coming up. Nope. Things played out that horribly this past weekend. So yeah, I literally am having to personally assess dropping shows, which is leading to opening my mind to personally assessing dropping other things out of my life, because I'm really sure the situation is stress induced. I'm really sure of that, which is a compound form of stress that is self-placed, externally placed upon me by my situations and circumstances around me, and multiple times exacerbated by the most ridiculous things that could ever happen to a person playing out in my life. I can't think of a better way to word that. Just literally some of the most ridiculous things. Like, if I remember enough of the details of all of these things that have happened to me, basically since my initial car accident in 2020, probably honestly before that, just things in general that have happened that have exacerbated other problems that were coming up or that were far in the future that could have been handled but now can't be handled because of this new problem or this exponentially worse problem. I could write a story. I could write a documentary and people would believe it's a story. It's a fictional story. I mean, the 7 hours to move 3 feet scenario is a perfect example of that. Who does that? Who endures that? But yeah, so that's the long and short of it. I am most likely, I really want to eat something, but I don't feel like anything in here is going to satisfy my cravings at the moment. So what I think I'm going to do, I don't think I have the Walmart app on my phone, but I'm going to get the Walmart app on my phone, find a local Walmart, order the groceries for pickup so I can park and have them hand me the groceries, and get a few things that I need, like water pills, frozen fruit. One of my recent life hacks has been, as opposed to stopping at McDonald's and getting a shake or getting a smoothie, I can go to the grocery store and spend that same amount of money on a large bag of frozen fruit that I can munch through over the course of hours, that will cool me down and supply me with nutrition. I've come up with a couple of small hacks like that. At some point in time, one of my other channels that is kind of dead because life has been so ridiculous the last few years that I haven't been able to put anything on any of my channels as of late. Like this video, I'm not even gonna edit, I'm just gonna upload, because if I try to give myself the wherewithal to edit before I go to the hospital, I'm probably going to find myself stuck here. It's like 7 or 8 a.m. right now, maybe 9 a.m. I'm going to find myself stuck in the same spot at 3 p.m. and reassessing everything about life and being frustrated. So I'm going to be smart about it, because I've said what I needed to say. I haven't really stumbled over anything enough to feel like I need to edit the video, or edit anything out of the video, I should say, to be more specific. And I think I've covered the brunt of what I've had to say in my situation. But yeah, one of the things that is getting a stark reevaluation is my shop, because that is a major load of stress that has only been a money suck for the last few years. It's been helpful here and there for various reasons over the course of time, but the majority of the time I really haven't been there, nor have I wanted to be there. And the only reason I still have there is because there's a bunch of stuff that I want to move to the van that I have not had the wherewithal to do myself. And over the course of the last literal 6 years, have not found a single person that is willing to help me, able to help me, and actually follow through. Like I said, I'm alone in this. So, I'm going to have to figure something else out, because at this point, like, the main thing I really want is my solar panels, because I bought roughly 12 or 1300 watts worth of solar panels that were going to go on my bus when I had that up and running. But that decided it wanted to fail on me randomly, and that's a whole another conversation that technically I've already had, but can reevaluate at some point in time in the distant future. But yeah, since I did not get a chance to put them on the bus, I at least want to take roughly, actually it is about 2,400. It's six 400 and roughly 20 watt panels, and I want to put at least 2, if not 3, on this van. I'm thinking 3 because I don't really desire cutting a hole in the roof for anything other than ventilation purposes. And even that, I want to do something so low profile that it's not even obvious, which I might end up having to have someone 3D print for me, because what I am imagining I have yet to find on the market, so I don't think it even exists. So yeah, I want to get those panels up on my roof so that I actually have consistent solar, so that I can actually use this vehicle on the level that I've wanted to use this vehicle for so long. Because having solar and having 3 different size of power banks having more than enough solar and having 3 different size power banks, I have multiple ways to configure everything on the fly to suit my needs and keep everything topped off all the time. Well, for the most part. And that has been hindering my ability to do a lot of things unnecessarily, because I haven't been able to get anybody to help me get to them because they're a little bit buried in my shop, out of the way of me being able to get to them physically given my current condition. So I'm going to wrap this video up because I don't really have much else to say of major importance other than be prepared to, if you know me, be prepared to see a personality change. I'm not going to, jump into my villain arc, but I am definitely about to put my well-being over everything else moving forward, because I really have not, for the majority of my life, really taken into consideration that if I don't do that, I won't be here to do the things that I'm doing, because I allow myself to die under one circumstance or another. It doesn't really matter what happens, but self-neglect in the pursuit of perfectionism, proper work ethic, and customer satisfaction is something that I need to reassess, because honestly, I have been putting work ethic and customer satisfaction much higher on the priority list than my actual well-being, and that has helped lead to my current situation. So I'm really debating what route I want to go, because I could grab the stuff from Walmart, eat the stuff from Walmart, and then go to the hospital, or just go to the hospital and enjoy what they have at the hospital, to the best of my ability, because hospital food is what hospital food is. But given the fact that I am in Louisiana, before I leave this location, which I need to reposition myself so that I'm not getting hit with the sun, because it is completely killing all of the AC that I have going on right now, which is very weak at the moment, because I need to get that looked at. I have max AC on and the cold dial all the way up, and I've been augmenting the cold output with a couple of fans to circulate the cold to some degree, but with the sun literally beating into the window right now, it's literally killing all of that. So I'm not sweating bullets, but it's kind of negating everything and putting me at a above average temp that's barely comfortable to deal with. Anyway, I digress. I have pretty much said everything I need to say. I am going to wrap this up. I am most likely going to post this on my Nomadic Lasers YouTube channel, because that's where I want the most attention at the moment anyway. because this is definitely something that impacts the business as a whole and across the board. And my personal pages, I can figure something out. Make excerpts for like TikTok or something like that when I get in the hospital and I'm in a situation that's comfortable enough to not have to worry about the temperature and my general safety. But yeah, as I was saying, because I am in Louisiana, the first step that I'm going to do as far as going to the hospital is researching where I'm at and make sure I'm not in a sundown town. Last night, it was just, I had too many factors affecting my ability to drive for an extended period of time. I was lucky enough to put in about a 45-minute drive from where I was at because my brain cleared up enough once I got on the road to keep me on the road for at least 45 minutes. But once I parked, that whole shift in mode went off, and I really didn't check what city I found myself in before I called it a night. So luckily, I did not find myself in a more aggressive sundown town that would have led to me not being able to even post this video. But that would not have been out of the realm of possibility given what has been happening to me recently. So, anyway, I am going to do all of that, get myself to a hospital in a city that is generally safe, have them help me out of the vehicle into a walker, yada yada yada, get myself checked in or whatever, and hopefully the situation is what I think it is, and I just need to physically dump the excess water that's in my system so that my functionality can go back to my current level of normal. But we'll see. Anyway, thank you for wasting your time with me. I'm primarily putting this video together so that customers, friends, family, and clients alike can all hit one resource to understand where I'm at right now and evaluate their situation according to my situation. And unfortunately, if I have some customers who have reached the point of no return and want refunds for things, I will have to walk down that path and see what I can do for them or with them. But I'm hoping everybody takes what I have to say with a grain of salt, gives me the benefit of the doubt, understands that I quite literally have been killing myself for them, all of them at the same time, which is really one of the bigger problems. And gives me the grace to hopefully take a couple of weeks at most to get myself together again, get back out on the road, and get back to making cool stuff for lasers. So, you all have a good day. Thank you for hearing me out. hopefully the next post that I do, because I'm going to try while I'm in the hospital to be more aggressive with content while I'm technically sitting there doing next to nothing most days. Sorry, I was just thinking about rehab resistance bands and what I have versus what the hospital may provide me. But I think I'm going to have them provide me with as much as they can versus trying to dig through my stuff here and find all the ones that I have, because that's overdoing it again, and I need to stop doing that. I need to stop being hyper vigilant and what's the word I'm looking for? Hyper independent. So, well, to certain degrees, some of that is going to be necessary in the realm of understanding that I need to take care of myself better and put my health first. So, yeah. Anyway, before I get on another tangent, thank you for listening. Thank you for caring. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. You know, all the usual stuff like subscribe, follow, blah, blah, blah. Help keep the content that I post somewhat relevant so that people actually know what's going on with me when they go looking for me. Because I know a lot of stuff gets suppressed just because I don't have a huge following online. So it is what it is. Anyway, thank you again, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.